what from your perspective, do you remember what happened?
I just tucked the front. So you would never in a million years think you're going to crash there. And I was doing 230, 228 k an hour or something ridiculous. But like as soon as I crashed that bike, I was like, fuck. I was like, I'm going to die.
Jet, when he rides, his posture never changes.
The other thing is too, because he's the man at the moment, it's like, okay, we need to have straight back. It's like I'm not saying he does have a really good style, and maybe that is the way he should ride a bike, but 10 years ago there have been things that Carmichael done, and before that, and before and after that, we would have thought, oh, that's how you got to do that.
I met a gypsy.
But yeah, you got to Jet's just he's ticking all the boxes. Like
And I think what you said before about the scary thing is like, he is the full package.
Yeah,
and he's probably the most marketable dude we've ever had.
Yeah, as
well. Like since McGrath, easily. Like he's already got like the donut franchise. Like he's a super good looking dude. Like that's his only pathway to get in trouble.
Yeah.
Is that he's just too good looking.
Yeah, that's right.
He's too hot for this sport, bro.
Exactly, yeah. He'll end up bigger than the sport, maybe.
But we kind of almost need that. Like, I think I really feel like, especially being in this for so long, like doing the podcast for 5 years, like, I've seen the growth. Like, I've seen this year, especially in Supercross, felt like a bit of a level up. Like the broadcast, the crowds, even the views online. There's so many. Before it was really just us posting shit. Like there was us and Pulpamex, and like we were the first ones to like really start posting every day about Supercross, no matter what.
Yeah. And
it's like the sport's now got to this point, and we need a dude that's bigger than the sport to kind of like drag it in. Valentino did it. For for MotoGP, obviously F1's had their stars over the year that have done it, but like David Beckham, not that he made soccer bigger, but you kind of get these guys that they
become bigger than the sport in a way.
Yeah, and I think that we're pretty ready for that now, I reckon.
Yeah, that sport's like Supercross is just so ready for it. I think there was a podcast the other day. It might have been Adam Cincerella or something talking about like paychecks and sign-ons and stuff like that. Needs to be. It's sort of like a bit of a secret between motorcycle racers. Like, what job do you go to where they disclose their hourly rate or their salary? It's like, oh, I'm on this much. I'm on this much.
Yeah.
It's like the sport kind of needs to hear that kind of stuff. Like, oh yeah, like he was saying, Roxon signed a multi-year Honda deal worth X amount. Like that's never really reported on in Supercross, but it is big enough where they could be reporting on that. Like, and that's like because in basketball and football, it's always reported on. Yeah, and it sort of just makes you think, holy hell, this sport's way bigger than I thought.
I completely agree, and like you can watch a dude, you can not give a fuck about golf at all, and then when it's the last hole of the last hole, you go to a playoff. Yeah. And there's two dudes. You don't need to know shit about golf.
If there's a shitload of money on the line,
that there's a 3-foot putt for $23 million. You go, holy fuck! And like, if he drops that putt, your heart sinks.
Yeah.
Or like you get excited. And then if he misses that putt, you're like, oh, bro! Like you've never even seen $23 million in your life.
Exactly.
So people want to say. Like, I get the one argument as like, oh, it's nobody else's business, blah, blah, blah. I get that. Yeah. But then also I think it does transcend the sport a little bit. Like if, your wife goes like, wow, this race is worth, like he just won $100,000 for this, or like be open, be upfront, talk about like that's the metric that's relatable. Like racing Supercross is not relatable for me, but $100,000, like I know what $100,000 is, like that to me is relatable. Yeah,
the average person that doesn't know Supercross will see it and see that it's worth that much money. Oh, they must be good. Yeah, I'll watch that. Yeah. Right.
Well, I think the other thing too is like, so the counterfactual is you're at a bar with your mates, Supercross is on TV, and then he asks you like, oh, what did that guy make a year, and then you're like, oh, a couple $100,000.
Yeah.
You're like, a sport's shit.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like this social proof. Whereas, like you can say like, oh, I think there's rumored that Ferrari's going to offer Hamilton $75 million to go to Ferrari. And it's just
that's crazy.
That's fucking crazy. Yeah, exactly. Like that's crazy. And it's interesting in that sense, you know?
Yeah, anyone can relate to, that thing, yeah.
We're excited to announce the launch of our new membership site, gypsytales.com, packed with exclusive content and perks that you won't find anywhere else. This is your chance to become a part of the Gypsy Gang. And as a special bonus, if you sign up to an annual membership, you'll be entered into the draw to win our custom-built TC125. Gypsy Gang.